Hello and welcome to Sky Career Talks, where we display why it's great to learn with us and communicate. I'm your host, David James. Today, I'm super excited to be speaking with Suril Dalall. Suril was a political science and ITI major here at Rutgers University with a minor in digital communication, information, and media. Suril graduated in 2016. After interning in his senior year, he started working full-time as a test engineer and now currently works as a software engineer in a tech company based out of Homedale, New Jersey. We hope you'll enjoy this informative chat today. We present to you my interview with Suril Dalal. So thank you for taking the time to be here and speak with us today, Suril. So to kick us off, give us a brief overview of your career journey.
In around 2016, I graduated from Rutgers, got a job as a test engineer. I was sort of interning as a test engineer, uh, the summer before my senior year, and then during my senior year. And they sent me an offer my in the spring semester of my senior year, and yeah, I joined up as a test engineer. Did a lot of work on some different agile teams in like a tech company in New Jersey, and uh, and yeah, eventually I developed some skills and became a software engineer, and I'm currently still there, doing some software engineering work, um, and yeah, uh,
Very, very
but
cool.
that's where we're at.
So what does a normal day look like for you?
Yeah, so for me, basically, I've been working from home the last couple of years. So basically, I wake up and once I log in, we usually start our day with like a stand-up meeting. So basically, my team gets together. I'm the scrum master for our team, so I basically I'm in charge of like some of the like ceremonies, some of the weekly and daily ceremonies for our team. So basically, we all get on a call just like this, and we go over what we worked on the day before, what we're planning on working on today, and if we're like running into any like hiccups and so forth. And if anybody could help anyone out, we talk about that, and sometimes break out into groups after that if we need to. Um, Other than that, after that, usually I try to keep my meetings in the morning. It's not always possible, but morning is usually some meetings, and then work in the afternoon, more on like working on the apps that my team is in charge of, and and yeah, and then I log out at the end of the day. Yeah.
So what type of skills are needed, both technical and interpersonal?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question. I'd say it's probably want to start at the interpersonal side. Um, I think it's really good to know how to build relationships. I think everyone says like it's good to network and stuff, and yeah, sure, but everyone kind of says that. Like, what does that really mean? I think it's good to build relationships. I know when I first joined, and I think it's really easy to do that the younger you are, especially if you're an intern, because depending on the culture of the company, like everyone wants to help an intern, right? Or like a new joiner. So, people are going to reach out to you, and you should reach out to people, and you'll learn things that way, or you'll learn what you need to learn. And so, yeah, I did that, and people really like reached out to me, and I just tried to, I don't want to say take advantage of those opportunities, but I tried to like lean into those sort of opportunities, and try to see what people were saying I should learn, and just like building relationships, and like um, being able to take like use those relationships in my work. Like, say I needed to do something, and I know that so and so has worked on that before or knows more about it. Like, I'd contact them, and because we'd have a friendship, they'd be willing to like reach out and like guide me on how to do things, and like that's how you learn. Um, So yeah, I'd say like definitely interpersonal skills, like building relationships. Uh, and for technical skills, like that all depends on what you specifically want to do. So as a software engineer, we're building apps in Java, right? So that's a skill that you need to grow if you want to be in that direction. But like there's tons of skills. I'd say um, depending on where you want to go, it's such technical skills is such like a there's such a wide a range of uh, skills you could develop there. So it all depends on what you want to do specifically. But that's another thing you'll learn about what you need to know once you like build those relationships and see what other people are doing and what their day-to-days are like. So yeah, it's like that, and they're always evolving, like technical skills are useful, but you're always going to need to grow them, develop them, and continue learning, regardless, I think, of what your career is going to be.
Well, that's interesting. I kind of want to piggyback off that answer. In terms of how can one prepare to get into this field or industry, whether it's through online certifications, having a portfolio, having a website, but also building those relationships and networking through social media platforms such as LinkedIn. What would your perspective review be?
Yeah, so that's interesting, and I think a lot of people are doing that right now, especially like leveraging LinkedIn to kind of like boost like sort of their like uh, online persona, so people can like reach out to them or find them. Uh, that even like I've been thinking like, how do I do that? So that's a really interesting question. But like, what kind of skills and if a like a portfolio to develop? I think that's still like I'm gonna go back to my what I said earlier about you first need to know what you want to do in a career, right? So, say you have an idea. I can give you a more concrete example. Say you want to, like what I did, be a software engineer, right? So, what kind of software engineer? You want to work on back end stuff or front end stuff? I work more on back end stuff, but let's say front end stuff just to make this example easier. You can start like learning or just Google is your best friend, so to speak, right? So you can Google things like what are the skills I need to be a front end engineer or front end developer, whatever. And you'll see like example projects, and you'll see like skills you need to learn, and sometimes you can use those skills to build these example projects. And I think for like most tools out there, there's like step-by-step guides that show you how to build like a project. And I think those are really useful because it's basically like somebody holding your hand and showing you how to do each thing. And then at the end of that, you could add that example project to your portfolio and then show it on LinkedIn. Um, but anyway, and then yeah, you can obviously then put your own twist on it and build something else to kind of prove to yourself that you've learned something from doing that tutorial. But yeah, like I think that's a really interesting strategy to learn a skill and then showcase it on something like LinkedIn. Um, I hope that answered the question. I don't know if I sort of skirted around that.
Oh yeah, no, it was a great answer because I think it all somewhat interconnects with each other, right? Because you are building building essentially a brand for yourself, through
Yeah,
these social media platforms. So having a website or a portfolio and connecting it to your LinkedIn profile, it helps to get yourself out there.
yeah.
Now, to get on the personal side, in terms of what you do day to day, in terms of your job, I also want to get into motivations and passions. Is there a favorite part of the job or something that motivates or inspires you or drives you every day?
Um, yeah, I guess what kind of motivates me is like and it always changes, but it's kind of like wanting to be there and like wanting to try to like push myself to learn new things. And it's kind of like a different thing. Like, it's a different mindset. I feel like I didn't really always have that mindset in school. Because it's hard to like, wake up, go to class, study, sleep, wake up, go to class, study, sleep, you kind of have to have that motivation inside of you to do that. And I don't know, when you're working, um, it's sort of different in that you have to find something that uh, that you feel self-motivated in, so you have to feel like you want to accomplish something and learn skills that'll help you accomplish that thing. And and yeah, doing it through whatever kind of career you build for yourself. It's kind of like something like that you need to build sort of an aspiration for yourself instead of I don't know. I feel like for this, a lot of people give like different sort of answers, like, "Oh, I want to solve these like huge problems like facing the world," and I feel like that might have been me years ago, but now it's more internal. It's more like, oh, uh, like, okay, I like um, where I work and the people I work with, but more than that, I want to uh, prove to myself that I can like do different things or learn different things and then like execute on them. So it's kind of like that what motivates me right now.
Yeah, I think just looking in the now, right? Given what are our circumstances, where are we in life right now, and just focusing, on a very small scale. Am I motivated? Do I agree with the mission's values, and do I like the workplace culture, right? Just focusing
Yeah.
rather than focusing on the bigger, larger vision, which, could come later, you could revisit, but, perhaps, just focusing on the now rather than, the
Yeah.
bigger, larger vision.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, exactly.
So to end, are there any lasting words or advice you could perhaps say to students, or perhaps tell your younger self?
Yeah, and I think I was pretty proud of myself, I think, for doing this when I was younger. But I think it's like take advantage of all the sort of resources that you'll find at Rutgers. Like go to all these events that companies will hold. They'll have like free pizza and they'll like talk about what their company is doing, etc. Stuff like that. I went to all of those, even if I was exhausted and didn't want to, and had to like take like a late night bus and things like that. Like I just go to them, even if most of them probably won't turn out to anything, but like just go to them. My personal story about how I first got the internship was that I went to a resume. I forget what it's called.
Resume drop in.
No, it was like not a resume thing. It was a mock interview clinic. That's what it was. And Rutgers has these mock interview clinics with real employers and real recruiters and everything. So I went there, sat with the recruiter, and she looked at my resume. She interviewed me, gave me some pointers. At the end of the interview, she's like, "Oh, like maybe you want to consider applying to our company." And she gave me a card. Didn't hear anything back. Like I said before, I kept going to all these like different type of events, and I went to an event, and my company was a sponsor there, and I met the recruiter again. She's like, "Oh, did somebody get back to you? Like, I remember I gave you a card." And I was like, "No, nobody got back to me." She's like, "All right, let me just give me your name." And like somebody got back to me. I got an interview. I got another interview, and then that got me an internship for that summer. So yeah, I mean, I owe it to like going to that random event. Um, I could have just as easily not done that, but yeah. So I went to a ton before then, and that didn't really amount to anything. So yeah, you just gotta sort of like do these things and talk to people and uh, yeah, go to the events.
And I'm going in, with an expectation or of some sorts, like, oh, I'm going to get a job or an internship.
Yeah,
But
like I said, most of them won't amount to, that's the kind of thing about life, like most of the things, you go to these events, you talk to maybe like 10 people. I'm not saying 10 people at each event. I'm just saying over the course of these events, maybe you'll talk to 10 people, maybe nine of them or 8 of them, nothing will come out of that. Or maybe you'll get small tips of information of, oh, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that. And then one of them might look out for you. So
Right, or
that's like my biggest piece of advice.
or it might be like a networking, like they know a friend of a friend who's looking for open
Yeah,
position to be filled. Yeah. So,
exactly. Yep.
well, Cyril, it's been a great honor to be able to chat about your insights and your career journey so far. And thank you for taking the time to speak with us.
Yeah, no problem, David. Thanks for taking the time.
That again was my interview with Suril Dalall. We look forward to connecting with Suril very soon. Thank you all for joining us for another edition of Sky Career Talks. And be sure to share, like, comment, and subscribe. Also follow our LinkedIn group page, Sky Career Corners, to connect with our brilliant students and alumni. Until next time, I'm David James. Take care.